frankly, procurement is at the same level, in my eyes, as auditing, accountancy, and that level of excitement. All right? Okay? Thank you. You know, and I give it's like, there's more excitement in the hashtag birds aren't real. Check it out. All right? Because people believe in that more, with more emotion than this. And I was thinking, why is this, You were talking about medicine, because, when nobody grows up going, Mummy, one day I want to be a chief procurement officer, all right? Because you grow up wanting to do things which have real value in society. And by value, we mean things which to do with life, to do with sentiment. We want to change the world. We want to become a politician, et cetera, et cetera. Doctors, they save one life at a time. In procurement, we can save or kill thousands by one decision. When you say, I will knock off 3% of my supply chain budget, somewhere in that chain, some people will enter into slavery conditions. Some people may die. When we go, oh, I love my iPhone, isn't it pretty? We now know 32 commit suicide manufacturing it every year in China. 800 people might burn up in a fire making clothes for a supplier, for a company. And we only hear about that because it's in the news, but all the people who suffer. So in procurement, we have the power of life and death. And that is a major responsibility. And I want to show you how you have the power to change the world. I honestly believe procurement has the greatest power to change the world. You see, I started in this whole process after retirement thinking, I had a vision back in 2011, which was I wanted structures that can change the world. And I had this idea that I could do something good, I could get rewarded, boop, on my mobile phone, a credit. I could go to Starbucks and go, give me $10 coffee, and they go, here's $8 for the coffee, $2 using my social credit. I wanted to use my values as procurement, because in our own lives, that's what we do, isn't it? Outside our jobs, we use our values to procure things. We go, that car makes me feel empowered, that dress makes me feel sexy, that house makes me feel good, makes me happy. We talk about our feelings. When we go into procurement, we just strip it out, don't we? We completely strip out our values. So I wanted to pay using my goodness in Starbucks. I wanted to go down Google Street and go, I'll shop here, not here, because this is made from a company which are good people, would treat the staff well, and this company are complete bastards, et cetera, et cetera. I will buy this coffee, I will buy this ice cream made by happy cows in a happy field with happy children, and this is made through modern slavery. I don't want to sit in a leather seat if I know 3 people die making it, right? Because that's leather industry, by the way. So I wanted to use our values as a mechanism for procurement, just as I do it in my own life, as you all do in your own lives. And the only thing that has allowed that to happen for us is using something called blockchain. So I want you to kind of ignore the frenetic video, but I want to just talk about the processes. So the first thing is blockchain has the ability to actually put on a distributed ledger publicly the entire supply chain. We all know the financial value of a product goes like this, and people add products to it and goes to the consumer, then you pay 2,000 quid for Louis Vuitton, and then it goes to a landfill. It's a curve. But the non-financial value, that might have been a living animal, right? You kill a crocodile at the age of 2 years. It could live to 40 because the skin is great at 2. So the non-financial value, people will fall in a vat making leather products because it's always the case. It's a physical process. So the non-financial, it fluctuates. And in blockchain puts into a ledger that entire supply chain so that at the point of sale, just as I see calories, I can decide to buy it or not to buy it. It gives you a choice to buy based on the values of the supplier. You have the choice. It doesn't mean you have to go for, people still go, I love my shiny iPhone, don't they? It doesn't matter how many people die, I still love my shiny iPhone. But at least we have a choice, just as we have in calories, et cetera, et cetera. And in the same way, an AI can replace then our boring parts of our jobs in procurement. An AI can say not Siri or flipping Alexa, what's the weather in Zurich. It can say, these are my values, go and find me products that are aligned to my values. Find me things which are aligned to my values. Do not pick companies or suppliers where I know environmentally it isn't good or whatever. And today, I may be less aligned. Tomorrow, I could be more aligned. I could be aligned to my father's values. Tell me what Superman would choose today. You can be a superhero, as you said. And then I can go to payment. If you're in Starbucks right now, Starbucks went through a huge racial issue in the past 6 months. So if I go and try and pay with my black coin, cryptocurrency, I will get 30% discount. If I go and play with my KKK coin, they'll go, this week is not aligned to our values. And this stuff happens every day. When you look at NRI, the National Rifle Association, we were giving 20%, 30% discounts to NRI members for years. It didn't matter when children died in playgrounds. But now, because of social media, it changed that. And suddenly, all that discount is gone. Procurement has changed. Companies stepped back. Airlines said, no, you're not giving me a discount. Rent cars, Hertz said, we're not giving you a discount. Our procurement changed. A company can decide, dependent on its corporate drivers or its corporate values, you can procure against those values. You say, I will use those values. It's for me to buy products from suppliers that are aligned to those values. I can even, using blockchain, determine how, let's say 5% are based on tokens which push values and 95% on cash to ensure that the supplier actually meets the values of the corporate. Equally, the supplier can say, I will not want a woman's coin. I do not want my token of value to be used to buy arms. And that's what blockchain can do. It can say, it can program in the token digitally where the values through something called a smart contract, which I can talk about later if there's time. And then let's go even further. So this is a vision for 2030, isn't it? These are like the SDG goals of 2030, which is, United Nations. I want to be in a state, and I believe at 2030, we will be able to transact love for a building, happiness for gold. There are now exchanges which are bigger than Deutsche Bank based on this. There's one called Binance in blockchain, started a year ago, 5 staff. It's 200 staff now, 1 billion profit, bigger than Deutsche Bank in cryptocurrency. And they exchange fiat and other currencies for each other. And they exchange, it was in Switzerland where I learned I could exchange tokens of social impact for art, for gold, for land. In fact, it was in this very hotel. The last time I was in this hotel, I met a lady who invests between 3 and 8 million a month in blockchain. She invested in a company downstairs, 3 million in 30 minutes. And I listened to her, and I was just aghast. And I thought, this is just madness. But in that same sentiment that she used to do that, she is 19% of the biggest software company for banking, back office banking, and 20% of one of the biggest energy providers in the world. Because she felt, right? She gets it wrong 99 times. We manage her money, but now she gets it right the times it counts. So blockchain is a new instrument, and it has many facets, but I wanted to give you a vision of what 2030 will look like. Because my honest belief is that procurement will be the single largest instrument in the world to change the world. So that when mummy says, mummy, children will say, I want to be a procurement officer, because they will want to change the values of the world. What we buy, what we eat, what we sell, the values with which we transact. And procurement can enable to do that. And I believe it's in the power of everyone. Right now, we have a path to go, But in my belief, blockchain and part AI will change that process dramatically.